Life needs more than solving everyday problems. You have to up and be excited about the future. I think that's the single best piece of advice. Constantly think about how you can do things better, and question yourself. If you're trying to make a company, it's like baking a cake. You must have all the ingredients in the right proportions. The only sensible thing to do is to strive for greater collective enlightenment. I think we have an obligation to keep the light of consciousness, to make sure it continues into the future. Do not confuse school with education. I didn't go to Harvard, but the people who worked for me did. You have to take the approach that you are wrong. Your goal is not to be too wrong. My children did not choose to be born, I chose to have children. They don't owe me anything, I owe them everything. Science discovers essential truths about what exists in the universe. Engineering is about creating things that never existed. When I was a child, there was one thing I said: I never wanted to be alone. That's what I would say. If something is important enough, you should try, even if the possible outcome is failure. You are paid in proportion to the difficulty of the problem you solve. I think it's very important to have feedback, where you're constantly thinking about what you've done, and how you could have done it better. Constantly seeking criticism, well thought out critique of whatever you do is as valuable as gold. I'm not trying to be anyone's savior. I'm just trying to think about the future, and not be sad. One of the biggest mistakes we make is trying to automate things that are very easy for a person to do, but very difficult for a robot to do. I really like computer games, but if I make a really great computer game, how much impact will it have on the world? I take the position that I am always wrong to some degree, and the aspiration is not to be too wrong. One of the most difficult things is figuring out what questions to ask. Once you know the question, then the answer is relatively easy. When something is important enough, you do it, even if the odds are not in your favor. I'm not trying to be anyone's savior. I'm just trying to think about the future, and not be sad. The first step is to establish that something is possible, then the probability that it will happen. My biggest mistake is probably relying too much on talent, and not one's personality. I think it's important for someone to have a good heart. My motivation for all my companies is to get involved in something that I think will have a significant impact on the world. Some people don't like change, but you need to accept change if the alternative is a disaster.